was going to do some bottling up today, but got a really bad throat, so I don't really want to infect any of my bottles of alcohol with this germ. So we're going to play with this instead. Hello homebrewers, and welcome to my channel. So I got some anesthetic in the form of whiskey, which is actually working rather well on my throat. So what we're doing today is playing with this. Now this is manufactured by Still Spirits. Now it is a all-in-one, one and done, like most basic pot still basically. It is used for distilling water, essential oils, and of course alcohol. So this video is a may or may not be, because I may be doing it or I may not be doing it. That's for you to decide. But basically we're going to be having some fun and may or may not be making some booze. So let's get into this. So having some liquid anesthetic and some Glenfiddich. Soothes the throat for about a minute and it comes back. So let me tell you about this. Now, this is made by Still Spirits, and it's a tabletop distiller, whether you're distilling essential oils or water, or just per se, if it's legal to, alcohol. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, it is rubbish. Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to sell you it, so it is rubbish. Because you can't put any type of yeast in there, you know, brew anything up and stick it in and distill it. You could, but it's going to taste like nail polish remover. Not that I've tried. So, that being said, it does have a few plus points to it. One, if you follow the instructions and actually use the yeast it's supposed to be used with, you don't have to worry about methanol or making cuts, which is otherwise known as heads, tails, and hearts. You don't need to even know those words. It doesn't need water to run. It is run off a fan that is plugged in, and it has one single plug, so as long as you have a power outlet, you can use it. Now, it only has one type of yeast you can use with it, which happens to be my favourite type of turbo yeast, which is the turbo pure yeast. It gives really good results. It comes with carbon and finings, as you can see here. And once you've finished with it, you end up with 5 gallons, UK gallons I'd like to point out, of a sugar wash, which has no methanol in there, so you don't need to worry about the heads or tails or the cuts, which is pretty damn cool. So it's perfect for the beginner, but hated by anyone that is not a beginner distilling of any way, shape or form. So that being said, one of these is going to set you back in the region of about 200 to about 300 pounds if you buy the full kit. So that being said, let's have a bit of fun with this. Maybe. So I've taken this thing apart. Now, it comes with a few things. That some of it you need, some of it you don't. So, we've got these. These are ceramic beads. Now, they go in the bottom. Looking lovely. Now, basically, they're there to break up, like big bubbles that form. It's a bit like if you put milk on the hob. If you had ceramic beads in there, it would break it up and stop it from boiling over. That's basically all that's there for. It also comes with this, which is called Distilling Conditioner. You don't need this. It is used to stop foaming, but it's a sugar wash. This is a preventative rather than needed. You don't need it, so just put it on the side. Now it also comes with this spout. Now you can buy these like little carbon tea bags that you put inside these, because, well, the more you carbon filter it, the better it's going to taste, because basically it's just distilled alcohol, like a vodka. But there's a little trick you can do with this to save you a few bob, so I'm going to show you that in a minute. Then we've got the top, which is quite literally just a hole, a rubber seal, and an out point where this clips onto. So, oh yeah, and of course, power cable. Pretty cool. So, let's get this set up and let's may or may not make something. So, with our ceramic beads already in the bottom, what we can do is take the given, which this may or may not be water, or it could be the turbo wash that I made in a previous video. So I'll stick the link up there if you want to know what type of yeast to use with this. So in this goes, already pre-measured out in 2 litre batches. So in it goes. There's 2 litres. With a little bit of splash. Move that out of the way. And then another. Now the great thing about this unit is it comes with a fill line, so you fill it to the mark and that's it done, which is pretty cool. I'll move these out the way, they're no longer needed. Cheeky shot of whiskey. Now we just put the top on. No need for the distiller's conditioning because, well, if you've made the sugar wash properly, it has no bits in it and it is just quite literally clear liquid with no cause to foam. If we were doing that, plug this part in and then plug it all in and we're good to go. Ta-da! Now while this is heating up, what we can do is sort out this. Now normally you can buy these carbon filter tea bags that you add in, because the more times you carbon filter something, the purer it tastes. They do it a lot in vodkas. I mean, you've seen the videos, you may have seen the videos, of people buying cheap vodka and sticking it through a Brita filter to make it taste nicer. That's basically what we're doing here. It's already been carbon filtered once to remove off flavors and methanol. This, with a little tea bag, does it twice, and then we got a third carbon filter, which you can do as many times as you like, till you have a pure, clean product. So what I got here is activated carbon. Now, mine happens to be for tropical fish. Fish carbon. The reason is because tropical fish are really finicky about things being added in. They're very chemical sensitive, so fish stuff is going to be pure, otherwise you're going to kill the fish. So I'm going to head and I'm going to take a cheeky scoop, like so, and then I'm going to add it to water until this runs through clear. So I'm going to go do that. So I have rinsed this out until it has stopped fizzing because, well, it's activated charcoal, carbon. So it's got lots of little holes in there. And the rinsing also makes it cleaner and, you know, until it stops fizzing. It stopped fizzing. So we attach this now on here to add in an extra level of carbon filterness. Because, well, we don't want it to taste like nail polish. Now normally it comes with a jug, but mine didn't because I didn't buy the full kit. I didn't even buy the basic kit. So I've got myself a measuring jug. Just a simple measuring jug. Now you can see there's a line on here that I added with a permanent marker at the 700ml mark, because that's how much we're going to collect. So stick that there, and I'll be back in an hour when this starts doing whatever it's going to do. So see you in an hour. So this has been on for an hour now, and it's heated up and it has started producing the liquid. Whether you're distilling water or alcohol, it takes the same amount of time. It started dripping here. I'll put a little clip up so you can see it dripping out. It's filtering through the carbon, just a light filtering. And basically, we're going to now leave it for another hour or until it reaches the 700ml mark. Now, you can get less. 600ml is actually, you get a higher quality. 700ml is kind of the trade-off. You can go up to 800 milliliters, but it's gonna be the worst. No point. Tastes pretty bad, so you might as well go between the middle. If you're doing this, you want to kind of make something that tastes nice. So I'm just going to leave this to go until we've got 700ml. So I'll see you in an hour. So we're just coming up to the 700ml mark. Still got my liquid anesthetic. And it's just coming up to the 2-hour mark. Now fortunately, what we're going to have to do is water this down, because using a carbon filter, it needs to be under 50% for the carbon filter to actually work properly. So I have got 300ml of distilled water. Now you can just add normal tap water, but that can produce off flavors, so this is pre-distilled from the tabletop distiller. It has many uses. So just before I turn this off, when we reach the 700ml mark, I'm going to start to purify or activate my little bit of carbon here. So you may have seen this in another video. So this is an activated carbon filter that we need to soak in water to basically leach out any of the chemicals that could possibly be in here and make sure it's ready for filtration. So I'm just going to go and add some water to this. Here we are. Now I just got to leave this for a few minutes. It does bubble. It will slowly work its way in until it sinks to the bottom, which it's coming to do now, as you can see. A couple more minutes and it will be ready so we can filter this bad boy. So a couple of mil off 700ml. So yeah, just gonna drink some more liquid anesthetic. Good stuff. So we've reached the 700ml mark and we just switch it off. Pretty simple and straightforward so far. We didn't have to take out any of the methanol at the 4 shots or the heads, and we didn't have to worry about the tails. So I'll just wait for this to stop and we'll be right back. So now I've rinsed off my carbon filter. I've moved my tabletop distiller out of the way because it's no longer needed. It just needs to be left alone to cool down. Don't try and open it when it's red hot, because you'll just end up with a load of steam in your face, and you don't want that. Burns your fingers. So we're going to set up the carbon filter now. So it comes with like a nut and a bolt, a couple of waterproof spacers, these little O-rings, and we just put one on one, one on the other. I like to stick the bolt through like so. And then put the flat side through here. Now normally they say the carbon filtering takes about 4 hours. That's a lie. It doesn't take 4 hours at all. It takes closer to 12 hours if you do it this way. You put the nut facing upwards, then the 2 bits in the middle, and tighten it down quite tightly. Not enough to crush it, but I haven't crushed one yet, but tightly. That's because the slower the carbon filter works, the more of the crud it takes out, and we want that. It gives you a purer product. Now use 1 fresh carbon filter per litre of processed material. So I've got my 300ml here of distilled water I took from my tabletop distiller before to my 700ml here. Now you can push it to 750ml, 350ml. We'll get it right. Liquid anesthetic has its downsides. So this will make an alcohol percentage roughly around 43%. Add it in, just like so. And then we take this cheeky litre and add it in, because now it's under the 50% mark. Some people like to put it in when it's concentrated, but the carbon filter doesn't work properly unless you have it under 50%. So my 43-ish%, possibly, works out pretty well. Now we didn't need to use a spirit hydrometer because it's all pre-done and pre-engineered. So I'm just going to leave this now. It's going to take about 12 hours to do its thing. Fortunately, I already have some pre-prepared. So I'm going to put this out the way, let it do its thing, and I'll be back in a second. So once you have finished carbon filtering your may or may not be distillate, you need to measure out about 730 mils, like so. slightly over the 700 mark. Now this is because the essences that you use normally make about a litre or less than. These are prestige still essences. I got it on Amazon. It's like £2 a pop. And this one is a Scandinavian whiskey. Because, well, I've never tried a Scandinavian whiskey. It's supposed to have like juniper and like malty, and it's different. I thought I'd give it a go. I mean, it's only £2 a pop. If you were going to buy Scandinavian whiskey, the proper stuff, it will cost you somewhere around 35 plus pounds. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So you measure out 730 ml because we're making 1 bottle's worth. That's what it makes. The instructions on here say 750 ml, but if you're adding 20 ml to it, that's slightly over 1 bottle. So I'd rather just account the extra 20 ml here. And why not just make a cheeky bottle? So you're going to need a bottle. I've picked out a clear one. In my case, a champagne bottle. Looking pretty. And in it goes. So this could be just vodka that I've filtered. Who knows? It's up to you to decide that. And in it goes, looking all pretty. And then to that we add our essence too. So open it up. Smells nice actually. It smells kind of sweet. Bottoms up, and in goes our lovely bit. So I'm just going to let that drain out, and then I'm going to give it a shake. Pretty cool. So put the lid on. Let's give it a good shake to mix it up. Looking good. It has a nice colour to it, almost as if. So I've actually already taken out a little bit here, which is different from my Glenfiddich. Cheers. I have to say, Scandinavian whiskey isn't bad. It's got a bit of sweet juniper to it, kind of sweet malty, obviously quite tasty. Still tastes like a whiskey. So this may or may not be a distillate. It could just be vodka that I have, funny enough, filtered and added essences to, because you can do that as well. But if you're interested in any of the things that you've seen here, like the terrible but kind of handy for beginners tabletop distiller, or the essences, or even the yeast and stuff, I will put it in the description below to send you to Amazon so you can see what it is, because why not? And I hope you enjoyed this video, thought it was a bit of fun. It's soothing my sore throat, so that's even better. So remember to, check out the other videos and carry on homebrewing, guys. See you later. This is nice.